Ladies and gentlemen, our feature presentation.
They say, how do you get in the car business? I said, well, I lied and cheated, so I probably had a really good foundation to be in this business. When I was in high school, they did what they called a predictive index. You know, they tell you you're going to be a doctor or a lawyer, or you're going to be an accountant, or you're going to do all kinds of different things. And of course, my friends were all coming out as all kinds of cool stuff, and I came out as a long-distance truck driver. But really, at the end of the day, academics were not my strong point. You know, I certainly wasn't stupid, but I was distracted. I was a distracted student.
That's, you know, they call it ADD now, I guess. I don't know, I don't think it's a bad thing. It's worked out okay for me.
Some people would argue I'm distracted today, even still.
It's a typical Monday morning. Oh, wait a minute. It's Wednesday. Do you need a couch and TV in your office, Philip?
Yeah, and a bed too.
And a bed, yep.
Are you around next week?
I don't even know if I'm hiring you yet. Like, actually, it's doubtful.
I realized after 1 year at university that the academic side of, you know, my future was not going to be where I was going to make, you know, any great strides. So I went to England. I applied for a job to sell cars. I'd never sold cars for a living before. The sales manager's name was Tony Milner. He's a big, tall guy. Of course, to me, everybody's tall.
And so I walked in, and the guy asked me a question. He said, have you ever sold cars before? And I said, yes. And he said, where? And I told him, just because my dad leased cars there. And I thought they'd probably never check. I just wanted to get the job.
6 weeks later, I got called back into the sales manager's office, and he said, I got a letter from your former employer, and they say they've never heard of you before. Without a breath, I said, can I just see who signed that letter? He showed me the letter, and I just said, I've never heard of that guy. It's not who I work for. But by then, I was their best sales guy.
Once I got that job, there was nobody who was going to stop me from being the best salesman in that place. Nobody, because I was motivated to be successful.
At the end of every month, if I had a good month, which was usually, I'd always question myself. I'd always say, I wonder whether I was lucky last month, or whether I can do that again, you know. But I always think that, you know, the harder you work, the luckier you get.
If you ask Dad, he never dreamed that this business, this automotive business, would be as big as it is today.
People notice people that work hard and give an honest effort.
Our whole business mantra here is actually making everybody's lives a little bit better. I know it sounds a bit corny, but I mean, for us, it's all about trust and respect.
Every single customer, regardless of how big they are, is fundamentally important to your business. Every single one. It doesn't matter whether they're buying a spark plug or buying 20 trucks from you, because they know people who know people who know people.
When was the last time you saw your dad sell a car?
Yesterday. We're at the golf course. Yeah, that's what he does.
He's just a people person. He loves people. He's brash in a way that he's not afraid to ask someone for the business.
How are you? Good to see you this morning. How you doing?
Good.
Did we treat you okay the other day?
This guy's one of the oldest customers, and I mean that both ways.
That's right.
He's been on airplanes, meeting someone sitting next to him. By the time they're at their destination, this person's ordering a Land Rover.
He's got the gift of the gab, I guess. I don't know, he's really good at building that trust up front. When you talk to him, he'll look you in the eye, you trust him.
I think the biggest prerequisite to being successful is having a passion for what you do. Because I think a lot of people get into businesses. They're doing it because they want to make a living, as opposed to doing it because they love it. And I think that if you really love something, you're going to make a living anyway. I got in this business because I love selling stuff. I just love it. I believe you're an entrepreneur, you're an opportunist. And you get better and better over time at measuring risk and measuring what the opportunity has. And believe me, we make mistakes. Not everything is successful. You have to have some stumbles.
I'm down to 1 minute. There's just no way. It's a waste of my time. Yeah, but sorry about that, guys.
No, we have about...
It's a nightmare. 5 questions? There's always issues, right? I got to go into another meeting, guys. I'm late.
You should never invest money in anything that you can't afford to lose, except your first venture.
We had a business on 8th Street called the Electronic Superstore, and that business was not successful. You know, I was having lunch with my banker across the street, and one of the guys came running over and they said, Vaughn, yeah, what's going on? Yeah, the Electronic Superstore collapsed. So, of course, I'm thinking financial collapse. I said, well, that's not possible. The banker's he's with me. He goes, no, they were excavating behind it and it fell into a hole. Your business is open one day and it is closed the next. And you have no way to recover the revenue. But here's what happened. I paid the bank back every single dime I owed them, every dime. I could have just shut it down, walked away from the loans, but I never did that because that's not what we do. We pay back the money that we're owed, and because we never know when we're gonna have to cross that bridge that we burnt down again.
Do you like to lose money? No, it's a terrible feeling. But what you do learn over time is when those things do happen, you shake it off, forget about it, and move on.
It depends on Mr. Moneyman. We may start building this later this year.
All right, let's just go ahead and do that.
We'll figure it out.
My mom was English and she always taught us trust and respect were fundamental core values. And so we try to get an environment where there's a huge amount of respect, where people want to come here, they look forward to coming to work, and maybe they don't even want to leave when they're supposed to leave. I gave a speech once to a group of investors, and they asked me, what's your secret to keeping long-term employees? And I said, it's like a family. You can have a loving environment where they won't be judged for every little thing that they do, good, bad, or indifferent.
I think we have a high degree of respect going back and forth. I think we all realize that we need each other to be successful. It's got nothing to do with who runs the company.
You stay connected with your people. When you're in the dealership, you do a walkthrough, you say hi to people, you try to remember as many names as you can. Lots of high fives, lots of good jobs, way to go.
Morning, guys, how are you? Fantastic. Suck it in, come on. Look at that, Mr. America. Hey, Amy, how are you? No laughing on the job.
I have my two boys that work in the business with me. They got immersed in the car business at a very, very young age, having water fights in the wash bay with each other, technicians having fun with them.
Remember, he used to laugh and call his buddies and say, "You won't believe what I got the boys doing today." So he'd have us dusting part shells, which is a job that just never ends, right? For $1 an hour.
And now my kids are 33 and 34 years old, my boys, and they're running the business.
I was in Dad's office and I was telling Dad, we'll Philip wants to order this car, we can sell this to a retail customer. And Dad looks at me, he goes, Philip can order whatever he wants. And he's like, by the way, if you want your partnership with your brother to work long term, he goes, just make sure that you respect each other and everything's equal. I learned a pretty solid lesson that day that no matter what happens, as long as we operate with that mutual trust and respect and how we do things, then life's good.
With the busy travel schedules with Dad and my brothers, it's harder to get together, but everybody makes a really good effort to get together.
I'm not sure if I've ever been at a family event where business doesn't come up, ever.
We'll do this, but those cars got to have full warranty when the customer takes delivery of them, and they've got to qualify for all current programs if there are any. Otherwise, you're screwing yourself because of their problem.
We talk about work like we would talk about family stuff. It's just kind of part of who we are. So
Vaughn's boys are very much like him in a lot of ways, and we're all sort of on the same wavelength. And so we just, we recognize when it's time to have fun and also when it's time to do business and look after things.
Family's the most important thing. At the end of the day, that's all you got, right?
Business it can be very difficult. It's a cyclical business, as most businesses are. Some are finding out right now just how cyclical it is.
Let's just start by going around the room and I want a quick update on where you're at, progress towards objectives, and how you think you're going to finish at the end of the day today.
We're going to be about 10 behind probably on new car target.
So you need 30 deals in June to catch up. So there's a saying in our business that every month you start unemployed, because every single month you have to start from zero and then you have a target to chase. You heard that we're going to miss one of our objectives by a pretty big number. That doesn't make the manufacturer happy, and then they're on the phone with either myself or Dad asking why we're not hitting sales targets. Whenever things aren't going well, it's just an opportunity to improve, and there's always a reason. We just have to find out what it is sometimes. Sorry to bother you. I'm going to need to steal you. I just want to talk to you and Scotty real quick. Sure. Okay. Traffic down?
Way down. Yeah, way down.
I just know we had some inventory challenges last month, and we got to now sell 30 cars in June to get caught up, so it's a big task.
Yeah, and I mean, that's very doable. Last May we sold 23.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm not worried about that.
I think the biggest thing that concerns me is that if we have the same trend in June, you're not going to have enough opportunity to sell cars out of stock to reach the objective that you have. So regardless of incoming cars that you've got sold and demos that you're going to deliver, we need to help you guys get some more traffic, and you guys have to stay focused on selling some cars today, but it shouldn't take you long to pull the reports. At least give us something to look at. We've had an interesting run with some of our brands, and the management structure within those brands we identified after some challenging months that we needed to make some changes. So we're now moving some people around to hopefully fix those challenges. So some of it involve family members, some of it long-term employees. Today out of 10, I'd probably give it like a 7. Because none of it's catastrophic to the business, and the solutions that we're coming up with are positive for everybody involved. Where Scotty gets an opportunity to become a general manager, promotion within the group to a brand like Porsche. I mean, how cool is that? The business side of it will change and evolve, and responsibilities will change and overlap, and things will happen and conflict will come up, but they're always going to be family.
Have I had some things in business that have been difficult? For sure. Did I feel like my back was against the wall? No. I felt like I had to go to work and make sure that it worked, right? I have the kind of personality that, I'm a very positive guy. So I don't even like talking about stuff that puts your back against the wall. It's like, that's not who I am. I'd rather not talk about something that didn't quite work properly and talk about what are we going to make work properly going forward. That's where I want my mind.
I never had a doubt that he'd be able to get through whatever those difficult times were. And there have been lots, over 30 plus years. Things aren't always easy, and that's what separates, I think, the really successful people.
He is an inspiration to me and my brothers.
I don't know if he's an eternal optimist, but he's definitely an optimistic person, and he doesn't like to dwell on negative.
And we were always around the dealership as young kids, and my dad wouldn't ever make it seem like there was ever anything wrong, right? I mean, he would always be Mr. Positivity, even though now that we're older, we know there's lots of challenging moments along the way and to stay in business, and it wasn't always just, let's go buy more dealerships. It was, okay, how do we keep Jubilee Ford running?
So, short answer, has my back ever been against the wall, where I was fighting my way out? It has not. Has it always been easy? No. But I have a hard time remembering how bad the winter was 2 winters ago, because it's not of any value to me today. What has value to me today is how great the day is today. That has value to me. I can't change a single thing that happened yesterday, but I can learn from it. You want to be known as a company that cares about the community, that it's not just all about taking, it's about actually, giving.
He called me up and he said, Diane, I need your help. I want to put a specialty vehicle into Barrett-Jackson, get it into the auction as a charity vehicle to raise money for the Children's Hospital of Saskatchewan.
My name's Vaughn Wyant. I'm from Saskatoon, Saskatchewan, Canada. It's a nice result when people say, you know why I came to see you? Because you supported my son's hockey team or my daughter's dancing recital or, the Reme Modern Art Gallery. And so I'm going to try to support you. And that's cool. Because you know what happens when that happens? It's an economic wheel. We give to them, they give to us, we give to them, they give to us. It just goes back and forth.
He is probably one of the best dads out there, I have to say. He's always made time for us kids throughout his whole career, which is pretty amazing considering he is the busiest man on earth, I'm pretty sure.
I mean, I'm not going to retire. I have no plans to retire, probably ever. I got to go into another meeting, guys. I'm late. No, we're going to tear it down.
Are you?
We're tearing it down. We're rebuilding. I'm also on the Audi dealer council. I'm on the Porsche dealer council. And sorry, I got to kill this. You work Saturdays? I do. All right, I got another conference call in a minute, so I got to get going. Well, I put off till later what you can do right now. If my phone rings, it's an opportunity. If I get a text, it's an opportunity. That's why I'm the guy walking down the street. I'm not playing Pokemon Go.
No, he's going to be like 85 years old and still be coming to work every morning telling me what to do. I can see that happening.
That's your dream.
That's what I've always wanted.
He has irons in the fire all the time. I mean, shoot, he'd go buy 20 dealerships tomorrow if he had the cash to go do it, right? But, I mean, we don't do things just to grow for the sake of growing. We grow for the right reasons.
An entrepreneur always wants to,
You know, take that risk and see whether, you know, you really were lucky or you're really kind of good at what you do. So we did it again. You know, and then we did it again, and then we did it again.
So I officially announce that Lakeland Ford is open for business.
Okay, ready?
Yeah, we're ready. As the opportunities roll out, you start to go, you know, we've really got an enterprise going here. You know, we could conceivably make the showroom bigger, but you'd have to actually add 6 more cars. On the Jaguar side, we're just starting to get some volume.
But part of what I'm doing is creating relationships with people that will be influential in providing me with our next opportunity. We create a platform where people go, I want that guy as my dealer.
There we go.
And what a pillar you are in the community,
See?
and a special Ford dealer.
She's right.
And he's all about
She's
giving
right.
back,
She's
and
right.
he sells lots of cars for us, and you made this big investment, and we love him.
There you go.
The future is going to be a lot of fun. That's what it's all about, because, you know, we're going to look back on this 20 years from now and go, wow, what a ride.
And at the end of the day, you know, it's not about making money. But I think that you make money at the end of what you do. The money you make and the success you have is a result of doing all the other things right. That's the last thing that happens. It's not the first thing that happens. When you look at things that way, you can be way more successful.
For me, it always comes down to this, the crazy things your parents probably told you when you were growing up that you didn't really understand at the time, and then you end up going, that's what they meant. But honestly believe the harder you work, the luckier you get. So if you're gonna have a little bit of a tough day, you know, we're not focused on that. We go, well, we just gotta go work harder. And I honestly believe that if when you get into those troughs, what are you gonna do? You're gonna sit back and go, oh, we're gonna trough, we're just gonna wait for it to get better? Or are you gonna be part of the catalyst and the reason it gets better? I gotta slip away for a short period of time.
And then when are you back?
In a short period of time.
Okay, because we could function without you, but barely, and then we'd have a list of questions.
Exactly.
I think it's just buzzing and it isn't even turned on.
No, it's just a bunch of nonsense. Honest to God. I might have them follow me around all the time though. It's kind of cool, right?
Yeah, get a long shot for the pads.
That's right. A lifetime power. No, I forgot to try our first time. Try our first time. What's that? Okay, I've been divorced, bankrupt. I've been a student. Listen, today's vehicles are complicated. They need training. They need training. They need training.
More choices, better prices. Sorry, forgot right? Yeah, I feel like I wasted your time.
Well, you didn't.
Okay, good.